Yeah, hey, bro. You gotta show the audience.
Yeah, I got it.
Alright. Close your eyes and picture this. You're driving down the road, minding your own business, when you get cut off by another car. You then notice that same car swerving, drifting into the oncoming lanes, using their brakes excessively and impeding traffic. We have all witnessed this event or similar events happen numerous times, and far too often it involves elderly people. A lot of people may think it is funny and make jokes about driving like a grandma, but the reality is that a lot of older people who are incapable of driving safely are risking not only their own lives, but they are also risking your life and my life and the lives of children. During this speech, I will tell you some statistics about elderly driving that includes how seniors compare to the rest of the population involving car crashes. You will have a better idea why, developmentally, it is unsafe for some older people to be driving, and you will know how to deal with this on a personal level. Driving is dangerous enough as it is. There are certain laws in place that act as catalysts for safety. Don't drive too fast, don't drive too slow, stop at red lights, use your blinker, wear your seatbelt. But is this enough? After hearing me, I hope you will consider some of the positive outcomes that can result from putting certain regulations on older drivers. This includes driving precautions that will require people to pass a driving test once they reach the age of 65. So let's start with some statistics that you may not have known. As age increases, so does the likelihood of being involved in a fatal car crash. According to a study done at the Loyola University Health System, drivers over the age of 65 have the second highest amount of fatal car crashes per year, just behind teens. This is interesting if you think about it in pieces. Why are teens number one? Possibly because they are inexperienced, too confident? Are they trying to show off? The reality is that it is somewhat expected for a group of new drivers to show these types of results. They are not completely used to driving, and it takes time to get good at it. You don't make it to the NFL your first time holding a football. It takes practice. The study at Loyola goes on to say that over 7,000 older people die each year from car crashes, which is a 32% increase from 1975. And these numbers are only increasing. If you take a look at the graph that I'm about to pass out, where is it? I'll give it to you at the end. There are a lot of car crashes at the beginning of driving, and as drivers get older and more comfortable, these numbers go down. But as you can see, at age 65, these numbers start to go up again. Not only are the numbers increasing for car crashes, but the same study at Loyola also noted that drivers over 65 get more tickets for running stoplights and stop signs and failing to yield. Though these violations aren't always resulting in car crashes, they are still dangerous, and they make it more difficult for other drivers to be safe. If somebody runs a light in front of you, what are you going to do? It's not like you have a lot of options. You either swerve to avoid crashing or you slam on your brakes, both of which are dangerous. I'm not saying that as soon as you hit the age of 65, you're going to make driving mistakes like these. I'm simply pointing out facts and asking if it is rational to think these numbers are purely coincidence. With this in mind, let's talk about why physiologically driving risks increase as we age. The human body is an amazing thing. There's nothing else like it. We see, touch, hear, taste, and smell, and while we don't really need those last two senses to be good drivers, the other three are mandatory. While driving, your body is automatically doing things and making decisions without you having to think about it. You see a dog or a person in the road, you automatically hit the brakes. You hear a car horn, you move. Green light, you go. Our senses can be taken for granted at a young age, but they don't stay sharp forever. According to optometrist Gary Heitling, author of How Your Vision Changes, most people begin to have difficulty seeing around the age of 40. It can be dealt with for a while by wearing glasses, but will continue to get worse. Impaired vision can make other cars and buildings look blurry. It can become difficult to see colors and can limit your peripheral vision. It can also make it hard to see far ahead in the road, making it difficult to prepare for what they are supposed to do at the next intersection, or at the next stoplight, or at the next roundabout, etc. It isn't just a problem with eyesight for elderly drivers, but the human body as a whole. Our hearing worsens as we age too, making it difficult to react to fire trucks, ambulances, and police sirens. The inability to hear these sounds can and has resulted in senior drivers interfering with emergency vehicles reaching their destinations on time. According to an article called Older Drivers, When Should You Stop Driving? Over time, your joints may get stiff and your muscles weaken. It becomes harder to move your head to look back quickly, turn the steering wheel, or hit the brakes. Our bodies simply do not stay the same forever. If you can't turn your head back, how can you change lanes safely? If you can't move the steering wheel, how can you avoid changes in the road? These are necessary movements required to be a safe driver. They are the basics of driving 101. If you are physically incapable of performing these basics, it is too risky for you to drive. A common understanding of aging is that our attention spans become shorter, making it easier for us to get distracted on the road. We also have slower reflexes that make it more likely we won't react in time to avoid unexpected changes, and we have more difficulty multitasking. All of these things affect driving. The same article goes on to say that other health conditions common in elderly people can make driving more dangerous. These conditions include diabetes, Parkinson's, and arthritis. I'm not trying to attack the elderly by any means. This is just a reality when it comes to human development. During my research for this project, I came across many websites that offered techniques and tips for older drivers as far as dealing with everyday driving situations. One article called Everyday Driving Challenges gave directions for elderly drivers on how to make left-hand turns, go around roundabouts, drive around big trucks, drive at night, yielding the right-of-way, and backing up and parking. It scared me to think that at some point I may need to be reminded of these basic traffic patterns. At that point in my life, I will undoubtedly be ready to hand over my keys for the safety of others. We all love our parents and our grandparents. It is not an easy task to tell them that it is time to give up their keys. We don't want to hurt their feelings, and we don't want to offend them. But who are you really hurting by ignoring some of the obvious threats that some of them pose? This is not an attempt to revoke a license as soon as someone turns 65. It is an attempt to make them prove that they are still capable drivers. By making this a requirement, you are helping to ensure a safer environment for your friends, family, and your loved ones, including the elderly. If you truly care about the safety of others, help make the roads a safer place. Although we love and respect our elders, we cannot continue to allow them to operate motor vehicles without first ensuring that they are capable. It's really quite simple if you think about it. Millions of people drive their cars every day. It is dangerous, and though it is impossible to eliminate all accidents, it is possible to limit them. There are laws that require drivers to be 16 before they get behind the wheel because they are not physically ready until then. You can apply the same theory to the elderly. Our bodies are not always going to be as healthy and alert as they once were, and it is our responsibility as a society to do everything we can to make the most and make the road safer. And that's it. Thank you. That is the assignment. Oh, these are fine. 8 people.